Oh yeah. Most people I'm going to do one part or two parts today, because it's actually my day off. And Wood was going to go for a walk, but it looks like it's going to piss it down. So I might leave it on Friday. It's Wednesday today, by the way. Now at the moment I'm staring at a shed load of bricks in the middle of the front room. We had when we moved in, we noticed there was a little damp patch on the wall. So got some workmen to come in. I'd got the wrong day, incidentally. I thought it was Friday, not yesterday morning. It caught at a bloody 9. So after I saw things out to start work, the guys started chipping away. They basically had to strip, part of the fireplace away, down to the brickwork. Then they were going to put the special chemical on and put the cladding on and all this stuff. Basically repair the wall, right? Only trouble was they took the plaster off and the bloody wall collapsed, leaving a hole big enough for the entire crew of the TV series Red Dwarf to hide behind. So they've had to brick that up. You can see there, look, brickwork. See, that's going to be there for another week and a bit. Right, I've got to stare at that shit right for another week before they can plaster it. Then it'll have to remain unplastered for a month or two before we can paper or paint it or whatever. Not happy. I don't like undecorated rooms. Drive me bloody crazy. So I'm trying to avoid being downstairs where possible. So as a result, I've been getting a load of work done. You may have noticed that I've kept to what I said, that there's no new artwork being appearing. There's a reason for this, but there's a couple of reasons actually. But I've noticed, I haven't been really bothering with a lot of the forums as much as possible, as much as I used to. And I've had a couple of looks back, but something, it's absolutely bloody great. I don't feel the need to try and keep up with the Joneses, if you know what I mean. Somebody does, whatever this week's cool type of model is, whether it's an orc with a fucking earring or a man pig or whatever. I just do my own shit, right? And I've got plenty of work in, so I've been trying to get that wound up. The Doctor Who thing's basically done. It took a lot longer than I think. So the thing is, sometimes there's unreal expectations of people who are less experienced in the industry. If they're used to using things such as pose that generate base meshes, you have to gently remind them that it doesn't take like 5 seconds to make this mesh. When you're trying to go for a likeness to a person, it can take a while, especially as that's not my strongest suit. Not monsters, not a bloody Christmas. But when you get into something exact like that, and it's got to be within a millimetre of real life, then it starts getting a bit more hairy. There was a problem with perspective. There was a particular model that I'd done in ZBrush's likeness, and it looked pretty damn decent, even if I do say so myself. Went out of ZBrush and into Lightwave that they were using, and it looked like somebody stretched his face and thinned it out, and I'm what the hell? Turned out it was ZBrush's perspective camera. It slightly warps the model, which was about as much use to me as a fart in a spacesuit, to be honest. It caused me a lot of problems. So that required sort of workarounds and stuff. So it's about as done as I'm going to get. I think I've got a sort of gun thing to do to texture, which is dead simple, to be honest. I'm waiting on some vector artwork for something else to do with this. It's needed for a texture, and then I'm basically done, to be honest. And I have to say, not a moment too soon, because I'm getting really sick of doing Doctor Who stuff. Now I'm a big Doctor Who fan, right? But some of it's been a chore, because the designs of some of them, when you're having to replicate things that have already existed from many years back, you suddenly find that you think, well, actually this is shit design, this really is bad design, but I've got to replicate this, and it's absolutely soul destroying, because all you feel like doing is tearing that bit of paper up and getting your own out and doing a decent design, right? But you can't do that. So in a way I'm glad that that's nearly finished. I've actually made a bit of time as well, because it's been ages since I've actually been able to sit down and improve my skill set, because you can't do it while you're working, because you can't take risks with, I wonder if I do it this way. You can't do that. You've got to know exactly what you do in a predictable and easy to replicate way. So I've taken a bit of time as well to just up my skills a bit. You'll notice I do that, a few times a year, but once every 3 months or something. And I'm well overdue. Haven't done that since last year, so that's also helping being offline. Because I needed it, to be honest. It was getting too much. You know what I mean? And it's like I've been talking to some guys that work higher in the industry than I probably will. You know what I mean? And they were all saying, well, actually, there's a reason why we don't bother with the forums very often. Because it can act against you creatively. You don't need, because effectively what you're doing then is competing with the artists, and there's always a faster gun in the West, right? There's always a faster gun. That's all you got to remember. I remember many years back now when Stephen Chen first put his models out, his reel from VFS, and you had lots of people that were considered the best, right? And then Stephen Chen came along and blew everybody out the water with 3 or 4 models. Right? It's as simple as that. And now you don't see him modeling. Why? Because he's busy bloody working, right? And he doesn't feel the need. So it's pretty good, you know what I mean? But I have been under the radar for a while now. We'll see what time I've got. Alright, 4 minutes. I've done a load of models, a load of personal ones that you can't see. Done a pretty groovy reptilian last night. Arguably, probably one of my best render setups I've ever done in 3D Max. That one turned out very well, very well in fact. I'm on redoing an old one at the moment because I was never happy with the way it turned out, which is a bit weird because it's actually the ZBrush book, not the making of, but it's one of the little images that I put in, and I was never actually bloody happy with it. So I thought, well, bugger it, I'm going to dig it out and redo it again. I don't have to see. That's the beauty. If you put something on a forum, right, and you see it, this model is now done, right? You feel as though you can't go back to it because people say, but you said this was done, and they never know if you're truly finished. So this way, I've just taken the decision that now I'll start up projects and restart them if I think I can do better with them, because it's all about increasing your skill set and also making sure that your portfolio is as good a quality as possible. So why the hell would you want to keep a model if you're looking for one from say 12 months ago? You say, something that I can do a bit better than that. Open the bugger up again and redo it. Why not? You're not going to get shot. There's no laws that thou shalt not reopen a scene file or the model file. You can probably guess I'm starting to run my sort of side of 3D as I see it to my rules now. I'm not expecting anybody else to do as I do. God forbid, no. I do what works for me now. It's taken me a long time to work it out, but I just do what I do. Now there's a video coming up on TheArea. I'll tell you about that in a minute because we're nearly finished. I've got a couple of minutes. I'll tell you about it now. Basically, I was asked to do a few videos for TheArea, and there was like a few Max ones and stuff like that. So I've put one up on texture baking, like making light maps and baking textures in 3D Max. Because I know a lot of lads, even some not so beginners, don't know. They don't really get how to do it. And it's actually dead simple, right? If you already know how to do it, disregard it. But if you use 3D Max and you've never baked maps before, I'm not on about a normal map, I'm on about like the light maps and you diffuse maps, stuff like this, to make them look really nice, then this might be the one that you may want to watch. Keep your eye open. It should be appearing some point of the next week or so. I want to finish this cigarette off, and yep, it's about time to call it a day as well. I'll see you in part 2, right? Okay, see you in a minute.